When Lily laughed that night, it wasn't a soft, familiar sound I once adored. It was sharp, careless, directed at someone else's joke, someone else's charm. The bar was crowded, lights dim, music pulsing through the air, but her laughter cut through it all, even the noise in my head. For a moment, I forgot how to breathe. She leaned closer to the man across from her, a co-worker I barely knew. He had one of those confident, easy smiles, the kind that belonged to someone who'd never been told no. Her hand brushed his arm, casual, practiced, like it wasn't the first time. Maybe it wasn't. I sat there, watching the woman I called my wife forget I was even there, pretending it didn't sting, pretending it didn't matter. I promised myself I wouldn't make a scene. Too many eyes, too much pride. So I smiled, took another sip of the watery drink, and waited for her to look my way again. She never did. When we got home, the silence felt heavier than the night air outside. She tossed her purse on the counter, slipped off her heels, and acted as if nothing had happened. No apology, no glance my way, just a reflection in the mirror, reapplying lipstick that didn't need fixing. "Did you have fun?" I asked, my voice too calm to sound natural. She shrugged. "It was just a work thing, Noah. Don't overthink it." Overthink it. Her favorite phrase lately. The shield she used every time I noticed something off. Late nights. Hidden smiles. Perfume she never used to wear. Apparently, I was a problem now. She walked past me like I was a stranger. The kind of silence that followed was one only broken couples understand. The kind that says everything neither wants to admit. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling while her back faced me, her breathing steady, peaceful. Mine wasn't. Something inside me shifted, not out of rage, but realization. Love doesn't die in shouting matches. It fades in quiet. In the missed touches, the forced smiles, the laughter that no longer includes you. Morning came. I made coffee. She scrolled through her phone. We sat in the same kitchen, worlds apart. Her phone lit up. A message. The smile that followed wasn't for me. "Who's that?" I asked, though I already knew. "Just Ben," she said, casual as ever. "Ben from last night." I nodded and said nothing. Distance teaches you to see the smallest things, the lies, the locked screens, the ring that looks more like jewelry than a vow. Days turned to weeks. Her laughter came home with her, the faint scent of man's cologne clinging to her clothes. I stopped asking questions, stopped fixing what she'd already decided to break. Then came her friend's birthday party. She wanted me to go for appearances, so I did. I shouldn't have, because that was the night I saw what I'd been refusing to see. She wasn't hiding it anymore. Her laughter filled the room, wild, alive, the way it used to sound when it was meant for me. Ben stood close, hand on her back, her eyes glowing in the same light that had gone out of home. I stood across the room, invisible, and then, quietly, something inside me broke. Not with anger, but finality. I looked down at my hand. The ring felt heavy, cold. Without a word, I slipped it off and set it beside my untouched drink. When she finally noticed, her laughter stopped mid-breath. Her eyes widened. The noise around us faded. Between us, only silence remained. She walked over, confusion flickering across her face. "What are you doing?" she whispered. I met her eyes. "Just returning something that doesn't mean what it used to." Her face hardened. "Don't be dramatic, Noah. It was just a joke. You're really going to embarrass me like this." Embarrass her. That was the word that stuck. I almost laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was so predictable. "Embarrass you?" I said quietly. "Lily, I've been embarrassed for months. You just never noticed." For once, she had no comeback. She just stood there, stunned. The man who used to tiptoe around her feelings wasn't doing it anymore. I got up, left the ring where it lay, and walked toward the door. Behind me, her voice rose, cracking between anger and desperation. "So that's it? You're just walking away." I turned once. "No, you walked away a long time ago. I'm just catching up." Outside, the air felt cleaner, the world quieter. My chest didn't ache. It felt empty but peaceful, like the calm after a long storm. The next morning I packed. Not everything, just what mattered. She didn't stop me. Maybe she thought I was bluffing, that I'd crawl back like always. But when she saw the keys on the counter, something in her expression shifted. "Noah, wait," she said softly, her voice trembling. "Can we talk about this?" I looked at her, really looked at her. The woman I married was still in there somewhere, buried under pride and denial. But she wasn't reaching for me. She was reaching for control. I tried talking. I said, "You just laughed." Her eyes filled, but she didn't speak. That's when I realized she wasn't sad to lose me. She was shocked she'd finally lost her grip. As I reached the door, she called out, "Is there someone else?" It almost sounded hopeful, like she needed a villain to blame. I shook my head. "No, Lily, there's just no one left to fight for." And I left. The first few days were strange. The silence in my new apartment felt foreign. One mug, one toothbrush, one life starting over. But soon, that silence didn't feel empty anymore. It felt earned. Weeks later, my phone buzzed. A message from her. 2 words. "I'm sorry." I stared at it for a long time. There was a time when those words could have undone me. But now, they just felt small. Too small for everything that had already been lost. So I didn't reply. I opened the window, let the morning air in, and poured another cup of coffee. Outside, life kept moving, cars, laughter, sunlight. And for the first time in years, I felt like I was finally part of it again. Because sometimes love doesn't end in fire or betrayal. Sometimes it ends quietly, in a moment of clarity, when you realize that staying hurts more than leaving. And maybe that's what surprised her most. Not that I walked away, but that this time I didn't look back.